We invoke blessings of the Almighty, and we offer our gratitudes to the entire Guru Parampara and seek their blessings. Today is another special day, being Buddha Purnima, which happens to be the 9th avatar of Lord Vishnu. And also another important day is the Kurma Avatara of Lord Vishnu is also as on date. So we are on our Divine Discourse number 27, the 7th of May, (2020), and Sharvari Nama Samvatsara, Uttarayana, Vasanta Rutu, Vaishakha Masa, Shukla Paksha, Paurnami. Paurnami is the full moon day. From tomorrow onwards, now we'll be entering into Krishna Paksha. Shukla is where we move towards the full moon, and Krishna will be where we move towards the new moon. So today's discourse is 28. Okay. Right. So far we have studied up to verse number 60, where the Lord himself tells Arjuna, he says, "O son of Kunti, the mind is always carried away by the turbulent and strong senses. Even though you have practiced tremendous amount of self-control, the nature of it is such that it carries you away. So one cannot be complacent. You have to be careful, vigilant all the time." And there we discussed about the king Sobhari, the sage Sobhari, how he got into the grip of the sense pleasures, and then he went and married all the 50 daughters of King Mandata. So that way, now you see that here God gives you a kind of an alarm that, look, don't be complacent at any stage. Till you reach your goal, you need to keep moving forward with steadfastness and focus. That is the meaning of a sthita prajna. Okay. And now we move to the next verse. So chapter number 2, verse 61. Yeah, please repeat after me. Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matparaha vashe hi yasyendriyani tasya prajna pratishtita. See here, the Lord says, those are the people who are established in perfect knowledge, who have subdued their senses, meaning who have got control over their senses, which also means that they automatically have their mind also under control. But here the Lord says, who have subdued their senses and at the same time they keep their mind focused or absorbed in me. So here he is very silently giving us a method what has to be followed. If you carefully look at this, there are two aspects. One is the senses, the other is the mind, isn't it? So the mind always is chasing the objects of pleasure. It is driven to the objects of pleasure. And as the senses do this, they also have an influence on the mind to get drawn by it. And then eventually the mind orders the organs of action, which are the hands, legs, the organs of procreation, your tongue and excretion. All these are activated, and he says, now you have to enjoy this. So here the Lord, what he says is, one part you just subdue your senses, and on the other side what you do is you give your mind an altar or a platform which will keep it engaged. Don't keep the mind idle. So immediately it will follow the senses. Give it an ideal or an elevated platform. So here he says, the word asita, he says. Asita meaning being seated. Where? Or established on matparaha. Matpara we saw here. Yukta asita matparaha. Yukta means united. Asita seated. Matparaha on the higher, meaning towards me. So thereby it will be able for you to control your mind and senses. It is much easier for you to be trained. That principle of absorption in God. Develop that habit of devotion towards God. See, if you see in our daily life, we have developed a liking, a sense of attachment, and at a much higher level, a great sense of belongingness or possessiveness about an object or a person. Now here the Lord says, you start developing all these towards me. So your senses will be under control, your mind will be controlled, and in future he goes on explaining what is the advantage of all that. And he gives a beautiful example of King Ambarish, which was quoted in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Now there he says, Savai manaha Krishna padara vindayor vachami vaikunta gunanu varnane karau harer mandira marjana disho shrutim chakar chuyata sat tatodaye kamam cha dasye natu kama kamyaya yatottamam shloka janashraya ratihi. This comes in the 9th canto, verse 52. Ambarish was a great king. He says, Arjuna, how he lived? He always remembered, he kept his mind at the feet of the Lord Krishna. He engaged his tongue in chanting the holy names of the Lord, the forms of the Lord, the virtues of the Lord, the glories, the pastimes of the Lord. He used his ears for hearing kirtan, bhajans about the Lord. His eyes were used only for seeing the beautiful deity of God in the temple, or pictures of the God, or the wonderful creation in front of you of the Creator. His sense of touch was used for massaging the feet of the devotees of the Lord. See, being a king, that was his humility. Says, this sense of touch, I can use it for the devotees. And he said he also used his feet for going around the temple, that is taking pradakshina, and his head for bowing down to the Lord. And to his devotees, he gave an equal amount of importance to the devotees as much he gave to the Lord. So likewise, this King Amarish, he subdued all his senses by engaging them only and only in the service of the Supreme Lord. He has not left one single organ here. Everything he has been utilizing only for the sake of the Lord. So here Lord Krishna says that once you turn your mind for a higher altar or a higher goal, then gradually your senses also are withdrawn from the objects of pleasure or sensuous attraction. Now, what does this do? This gives you that calmness, that peace of mind, that attainment of something higher, greater. Otherwise, we have seen how as you go behind an object, what kind of agitation it creates in your mind, which will be explained much more in detail in the further topics. So this way, be focused. Now we go to the next verse, 62, chapter 2. ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः संगस्तेषुपजायते संगात् संजायते कामः कामात् क्रोधो विजायते. See, here he comes. Now, where is your mind? Where are your senses? You have withdrawn your senses and you have placed your mind towards devotion for a higher purpose. So once, you place it on matpara, meaning higher self, then this vishaya para, what we call, it automatically is drawn away from the objects of pleasure. So here he says, now I'll tell you what these objects of the senses can do to you. Let's go to this. So the meaning of this is, when you start thinking about any of the objects of the senses, one develops attachment. And attachment leads to a desire, and from desire arises anger. Now this is the direct meaning of this shloka. Here Sri Krishna is a great psychologist. And I tell you, there's a lot of aspects which he is talking from the point of view of psychology. Because everything is about the mind and body. More of the mind only. Nothing great about the body. Mind senses. So in a way you can say that there is a great amount of psychological study which has been involved in the Bhagavad Gita. So now he comes out with this. What does he say? Anger, greed and lust are considered by the Vedic scriptures as manasa rog, meaning diseases of the mind. It is just not said that way. Now, there are so many corroborations to this also. Now in Ramayana, it is written, manasa roga kachuka mein gaye, ahim sabke lucky bir lekh paye. This is Goswami Tulsidas said this in verse number 53. You know what he says? We are all aware of the diseases of the body. And one simple disease can ruin your whole day and make your life miserable. Take any simple thing. Maybe you have a small hair fracture on your toe, you have a tummy ache, or you have a toothache, or you have a severe cold. That is enough to put you down. But we do not realize that we are continuously tormented by multiple mental ailments, because we do not consider this anger, greed and lust as mental diseases. We never want to cure them. We all know psychology is what? It analyzes these ailments and provides solutions for us. Talk to a psychologist. What does he do? He analyzes your mind. So now, in fact, in India, there's not much of psychology and much adherence to this particular subject, but abroad, people have taken it seriously. For every small thing, they go to a psychologist, a psychopath, a psychoanalyst, because they're all mental diseases. And all the diseases which come in the body are psychosomatic diseases. They arise from the mind. A wrong understanding of the world, a wrong understanding about yourself gives you a wrong understanding of a situation. With that wrong understanding, now what happens? From your intellect, it goes to your mind. And from your mind, it further goes deep down to your prana shakti. Your prana shakti wavers. And from the prana shakti, it goes to the annamaya kosha, and it shows up as a disease. Breathing issues, there's respiratory, then anxiety, which is caused by stress. Now that has an impact on your, at various levels, it has an impact on your heart, on your respiratory system, on your skin, and on your internal organs like liver, kidney, and even to an extent, it causes cancer as well. So any point, what has to be treated is your mind first. See if there is something disturbing you, that is the root cause. So here Lord Krishna says, we have never considered anger, greed and lust as a mental disease. And there he goes on. He gives, there's a beautiful example here. Like a co-education college. Boys and girls are studying together in a class. Now what happens? Now here we are trying to understand, how does a desire, by contemplating on an object of the senses, how does a desire arise? And from desire, from attachment, how does desire further come in? So there are boys, girls. Now one boy, he is attracted towards a girl. That's quite common. They are in their teens. Now what happens is, his mind likes that girl, and at one point he feels, oh, it would have been great if that girl was mine. Now that girl doesn't know anything about this. It is cooking in his mind now. So what happens? He starts thinking about the girl. Constantly is thinking about her. And then it comes to the next level. From his thought, it comes to his action, where he tells his friends, "Arey, I'm madly in love with her, and I'm not able to focus on my studies. My mind is repeatedly only thinking about her." Now what the friends say? "You've gone mad or what? we are talking to her daily, we are interacting with her, but none of us are crazy about her. Why are you getting so vexed? To an extent that you are saying that you cannot focus on anything, you are not able to sleep, you are not able to study. Now, what is the reason for this situation? It started with a simple thought in the boy's mind of a liking about the girl, that's all. And he made it stronger. He was constantly contemplating on that thought of the girl. And he feels that there was happiness in that girl, and his mind got attached to her. See, desire comes from attachment, firstly. And attachment comes from a constant thought about a particular object. See, we always say, no, don't be attached. Now, here is the fine line, what we have. Have love, have affection, have ample amount of love and affection, no problem. But don't get attached. What is the meaning of that? Meaning, don't keep thinking about it again and again and again. Let's say your children. Yes, when they are there in front of you or they are with you, you need to do certain things which, as a parent, you have to do. Do it with that love and affection. But after having done that, just don't keep thinking about the same thing. So that leads to an attachment which is extremely strong. Vita, Raga, Bhaya, Krodha, we have heard in the past shlokas. Raga is that attachment. And anybody, like say it could be cigarettes or it could be drinks, what happens is, even though they have enjoyed it, but again and again that thought comes, when I will have my next cigarette, when I will have my next peg. Let's say you have a habit of having drinks in the evening. So right from afternoon, you start, sorry, and still there are 4 more hours to have my evening peg. Now it is 3 hours more, 2 hours more. What happens? The desire gets stronger and stronger, and that becomes a craving. Now what is the problem? Okay, you have a desire. What is the problem? Yes, now let's understand what happens if a desire develops. It gives birth to 2 problems. One is greed and the other is anger. How come? Now, if your desire is fulfilled, the next level is greed. This is all human psychology. Yeah? There is no great invention or something to be reinvented. It is psychology which has been there for centuries and thousands of years, millions of years. Now here again Ramayana quotes again here. Jimi pratilabha lobha adhikai. Means if you satisfy desire, it leads to greed. These are like Supreme Court judgments. So what one has to understand now, well, how did it become greed? Because you want more. Yat prativyam vrihivayam hiranyam pashavas striha. Meaning what? If one person were to get all the wealth, luxuries, and all the essential objects in the world, that person's desire will never be satiated. Hence, know this to be the cause of misery. An intelligent person should renounce desire. Think about this. Desire is such a disease. You desire for something, it then gives you greed. Now, let us say what you desired, only if it was fulfilled it becomes greed, right? Okay, it is not fulfilled. See the other impacts. The flip side. If a desire is not fulfilled, it creates anger. How? Because you didn't get it. It creates jealousy because somebody else has it. You don't have it. See what kind of impact, what kind of results are coming with this one simple thing, desire. Before desire, which came from an attachment. And what was an attachment? Just a thought about that object. That's all. Just a thought. So now Sri Krishna further says, this is not stopping here. The chain continues. There are more consequences of this anger and greed. Let's look at that. Okay, now we are on verse 63. क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिर्भ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशः बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति. Pranashyati. Pranashyati means one is ruined. By what? Buddhinashat. From the destruction of your intellect. How is intellect ruined? Smriti Bhramshat. Because your mind is completely baffled, covered by the Vibhramaha, bewilderment. It is clouded by wrong judgment. Where did all this come from? Anger. See, anger is a state where one is not in his true self. You should never take any sensible decision when you are angry. And one should also not take an angry person seriously if you want peace of mind. Because what that person would say in anger, there are no limits of understanding. It can go to any extent, and if you keep thinking about it, then you are ruined. First of all, like we say, "Arey, mad fellow, yaar, why you are listening to him?" Somebody is shouting on the street, a mad guy. Do we really pay heed to what he's talking? Because he's drunk, he's mad. Same way, a person is no different when he's angry. If you want peace in your mind, neglect him. Just laugh at him. Inside, you don't laugh at him on his face, otherwise he can become treacherous. He'll manhandle you also. Then you are at peace. You will be much more worse, as I told you, if you start thinking again and again what that person told you. We have such great memory for all these things. In this year and during this time, you said this. During this year, during that event, in front of these people, you said this. We don't remember anything else. But this we have fantastic memory. That is all for your destruction. Don't. So anger. Now what happened? Just because you were angry, your mind, your senses are clouded, your sense of judgment is completely enveloped. Afterwards, you may say, Arey, that person is such an elderly person, is at least 20 years elder to me. What nonsense did I talk to him? You yourself, when your mind is cool, you may say that, if you're sensible enough. So when that is the situation, is for a person, all this object, attachment, desire unfulfilled, anger. Anger clouds judgment. Clouding of judgment is loss of memory. Loss of memory destroys your intellect. And once the intellect is destroyed, you are completely destroyed. See, look at various situations in our own life. You will understand how things went wrong. Where did it start altogether? If I had probably controlled at that point, all the subsequent things wouldn't have happened. So here, our point what has to be drawn here is, we have to first understand, if anything has to be cured, first you should understand that I have a problem. As far as you feel that you are fine, nothing's wrong with me, everything is wrong with the other person, then you'll never have peace in your life. We have to understand that this lust, greed, anger, these are all mental diseases. And this is told by the Vedic scriptures. Forget about the doctors telling. Have these in place and see how your physical health, mental health, your relationship, your progress, prosperity in worldly life, how much it will be, and how peaceful you will be, how likable person you will be. Okay, so now let's do some meditation. We'll take up the next verse tomorrow, 260. That is verse 264. It further continues on this. I'll elaborate a little more, but you'll think more about this, and then it will improve your understanding on the further verses. Okay. All of you be seated comfortably. Adjust your body a little bit. If there's any pain or discomfort in any part of the body, keep your head, neck and spine in a straight line. Keep your body completely relaxed. Keep your face relaxed. Your forehead relaxed. Wear a gentle smile on your face. Your eyelids are so gently closed as the two petals are resting one above the other. Now we all all shall do the Panchakosha Viveka meditation. Here we are trying to understand what is the true nature of ourself in terms of which is more permanent and which is temporary. Which force is controlling the other? What is Nitya and what is Anitya? Let's take a few deep breaths. You are now completely relaxed. In this state of a relaxed body and mind, let's now start. Am I the body? Clench your fist and release them. I can see my body. I can feel my body. The body is an object. The body does not have a power of its own. Label it, the body. I'm not that. Let's go deeper. Then am I the pranas, the life forces within me? Can I see the breath going in and out of my body? Feel the breath at the tip of your nostrils. I can feel the life forces going in and out of my body. They too are an object which can be seen by the seer. They do not have They are independent source of energy. The pranas are dependent on an external source of energy. Then I am not the pranas too. Label it, the pranas, which I am not. Then am I the mind, the manomaya kosha? Let's examine. Can you see your mind? Sometimes I'm sad. Sometimes I'm happy. Sometimes I know that the mind is angry. Sometimes I know the mind is jealous. I know that the mind is cluttered with thoughts. I know the mind has very few thoughts. All this is clearly visible to my seer. The mind is the seer, and I am the seer. The mind does not have its own source of energy. Label it, the mind. I am not that. Go deeper. Then am I the intellect, the Vijnanamaya kosha, which governs the mind. Can you see the intellect? Yes, I can see the intellect. Sometimes the intellect says, I understand. Sometimes the intellect says, I don't understand. Sometimes the intellect says, I am proud and honored. Sometimes it feels insulted. All this can be seen by you, the drashta. The intellect is the same. It too is an object. It does not have its own source of strength or energy. Label it the intellect. I am not the intellect too. Then what is my true nature? Let's go a little more deeper to find out who the seer is, who the drashta is. That seer, the drashta, is the one who is able to see all the koshas. Now, as you go inside deeper and deeper, you come to a state of blankness. A state of almost no thoughts. Your mind filled with ignorance and bliss. Bliss of not knowing anything. As no thoughts are disturbing you. I can see this state very clearly. Some time back, this state was not there. And sometime later, this state of bliss is not going to be there. I am not this bliss sheet, Anandamaya Kosha too. I am that who is witnessing all these sheets, all the time. I am that source of potential energy to all the sheets. I am that consciousness which is permanent, eternal, and infinite. I am that which supports and enlivens the functioning of all the 5 sheets. Without these 5 sheets, without this consciousness, all the 5 sheets fail to perform. How do I know you? I am the knower and cannot be known by the mind or perceived by the senses. Anything which is perceived in the light of this consciousness is itself a proof to know the consciousness. Just as you want to know that you can see, you have eyes. As far as you can see, you have eyes. The eyes cannot see the eyes by themselves. But this great source of energy, the consciousness, can be felt. It has to be feelingly understood and understandingly felt. Let's do a small exercise to feel this consciousness. Please raise your hands 6 inches above from wherever they are. Keep them in midair. Palms facing the sky. Now feel the sense of energy, vibration, consciousness. That energetic field of strength in your hands. That is your consciousness. Please put your hands down. This is that supreme truth. You are not the body, but you are that true, pure consciousness. This consciousness is not in the body, but the body is in this ocean of consciousness. This is that eternal source of strength. This is that infinite, changeless, Avinashi, Nirvikalpa, Nirakara, Ananda Swarupa, Avyakta, Achintya, Nitya, Sarvagata, Shashvata, Ajaya, Parabrahma. This is that force which is this ocean of consciousness in which the entire cosmos universes, multiverses appear as waves in the ocean. That pure consciousness in you which you just now felt, is your true nature. As long as you believe to be your body, your mind, you will transmigrate from one jiva to another. But with the knowledge of the Supreme, no sooner you understand your true self, you become one with the Supreme. This is that supreme knowledge. As far as you can stay in this state of supreme knowledge, you are in the state of realization, which is your true state. Now please rub your palms, place them on your eyes. Do it thrice for better effect. And gently and lovingly open your eyes. If anybody has something to say or ask questions, please come on Q&A. Or you could type. Okay, I think there are no questions. Shall we conclude? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Shri Krishna Panamastu. We offer our sincere thanks and gratitude to the Almighty and the Guru Parampara for having given us this rare opportunity and blessed us with this supreme knowledge. And we beseech and humbly pray to keep showering their love and affection on us in future too. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you everybody for being a part of this great divine journey. Look forward to see you all tomorrow. Have a great evening. Hari Om.